You would buy that brand over someone else's.
100%. If Metabo done that now, I'd be all over that.
The next job might not be the next. The next job might be the last job for 2-3 weeks. I can't say no to it because then I've got no money coming in for the rest of the month.
More. I bought more.
Work-life balance, but I need more pack-out stuff.
I'm like, this is just, and we was fitting a double socket the other day. I dragged everything in. I'm literally just doing a socket. I do not need all of this.
Guys, welcome back to Talk Up. This is episode 5, and Jimbo has returned from the Far East just to grace us with his presence. But you might notice that a few things are here, and something that is usually here isn't here. And that's right, we have suspended Jay through poor performance. He did not meet his KPIs. We felt that he was bringing the overall presence of the podcast down, terrible questions, or he's really busy and couldn't actually be here today. I will let you guys jump in the comments and tell us, 1, is it better without him? 2, if you think it was either because we banned him or he's too busy to be here. And anyone who knows Jay knows which one it is. So on top of that, we have an awesome giveaway. So thank you very much to the guys over at Unilight. I got in touch with Alex, who was kind enough to send down this awesome giveaway. So stay in touch, or just listen to the end to find out how you could win 1, 2, or 3 of these awesome prizes here from Unilight. So, with that being said, welcome back to sunny South Wales, which I don't think is half as sunny as... Well, tell us where you've been.
Well, on Boxing Day, flew to Vietnam, was there a couple of days, and then off into Thailand I went for the rest of it.
Off into Thailand, just wandering through the mean streets of
basically.
Thailand.
And one experience.
Whereabouts in Thailand did you actually go?
Where did we start? Did we start in Pattaya? I think we did. And then went to Phuket and just, dotted about backpacking, I guess.
Phuket is where most people go, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite touristy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And any strange looking women out there?
You would not know.
You would not know, is it?
You would not
How
know.
did you find out? Oh dear.
No,
Pay close attention to his TikTok in the next few weeks. Did any of your friends find out?
No comment.
Fantastic. So if you've got any or want to throw anyone under the bus for some Thailand stories, again, get in touch. We'll happily name and shame. Oh dear. So tell us 3 interesting things about Thailand that, as an electrician, that you noticed.
Health and safety is not a thing.
Fantastic.
The electrics, oh my God. I'm walking around, I'm like, I could not work here. They just sling cables in. And all the poles is just about 100 cables, not supported. There's no fire fixings over there or anything. Do you know what I mean?
So our conversation last time about the London Fire Brigade having they'd have a field day, is it?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, a third one.
Just do you think it borders on dangerous?
It's that thing in there. It's like, if everyone knows that not to touch electrics over there, then they won't. So it's obviously, it is dangerous, but I think people know that it's dangerous, they don't go near it.
Okay. That's an interesting way of looking at it, I guess.
It's like all the meter boxes, outside and stuff, and all the meters, and they just open. It's like rain again. Well, not that it does rain often, but
it still does rain.
Yeah. It's just, it is. I wouldn't want to work out there.
That's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. And it's just the fact that there's just no problem with it at all. People must die. A lot of people must die from electric shock.
Well, this is what we was thinking. And the same with the bikes over there. There's so many mopeds over there and stuff. It's so many people must die on these bikes. And the same with electrics. People have to.
It's mad. So I thought, there's the statistic came out from last year. 13 electricians last year in the UK died because of lack of safe isolation. Right? I thought that was an insane number for something that should be quite simple. How many people in Thailand must just blow up?
I doubt it's even recorded.
No, that's the other thing, isn't it? But how many registered electricians do you think they have over there?
Registered?
How many? Okay, there's a better question. How many people over there do you think that work in electrics could pass their AM2?
There's bound to be some good ones out there, but oh my God, I was shocked. In Vietnam, the first night, I was in a hotel. I opened up a drawer, just a normal bedside drawer, and you have a socket on the front of it.
Right.
But you could open it. So I opened it up, and there's single cables. And as I opened the drawer, it just popped out the socket. I just shut it, and I was like, I get my battery back out.
A USB charger, by any chance? USB socket?
No, it was a proper socket. Like, I was just like, oh my days, where am I?
I've visited some factories over the past 10 years where I've walked in like, we can't buy from here. We can't buy from here. So, but product very good. It doesn't matter. We'll end up on the news. We can't buy from here. Yeah, it is absolutely mental. Although, like I was saying to you before, like my last trip to China, I think there's a clear divide in areas with money and without money, right? So last time I went to China is quite an affluent area. And I was just saying to you before, I got into a Neo. So my business partner there picks me up in a Neo. And for those who've not come across one, Google one. It's an absolute machine. It honestly is like a Tesla and a Range Rover Sport have had a love child. It is huge. It's stunning. It's a beautiful car. Anyway, it's like a $100,000 car, right? Picks it up, and it's on its last legs of electric. So hardly any electric left. So here we go to the pod point charger, or whatever we can find next, for 40 minutes or so, I thought. And we pull over past this. It looks like a shipping container. And you pull up, pulls up next to it. And he starts talking this little round thing that looks like. Honestly, apparently they add it to the car to give it a personality. That's genuine. It's this little ball with eyeballs on it, right? That swivels to talk to you, and it's weird. It tripped me out. Anyway, so he talks to this thing like la la la. It talks back to him, la la la, and then it reverses itself into this pod with these little robot arms. And when I told my daughter about these robot arms, she didn't believe. They genuinely think Transformers, right? The robot arms come out and unbolt the battery from the bottom of the car, which is on the frame of the car. If it comes, boom, drops out. New battery in. We're out. 4 minutes, 500 kilometers. Absolutely insane. And they are everywhere.
That was mental.
And you know how like Tesla bought all of the infrastructure and set up all these things at like service stations for these cars. These guys, wherever Neo are, have gone to some other level, and these pods are absolutely everywhere. We drove for 9 hours one day, and so we had to get going to these two twice. No, never a queue. 4 minutes. There's not going to be a queue. It's actually quicker to change the battery than it is for me to fill up my car.
That is mental.
They are so far ahead of us. It is insane.
That's the future.
Likewise, you go over to Thailand, and then you've got situations.
You've got a moped.
Yeah.
With 5 people on it.
Yeah. But then you get that in China. I've never seen so many electric cars as when I last went, and I haven't been over to China in about 4 years, and the pace in which they have advanced is insane. I said before, they started building smart cities. They're about to relocate all their government buildings from Beijing to this new smart city, which is, everything on it's smart, the roads, everything, so that when people come and visit their delegates, they can see what they can build, so they become the global developer of smart cities.
That's mad.
Well, all the components in that are already made there. So it's just like...
Just chuck it all in.
And what cracks me up is when people go, oh, where's your stuff made? China. Oh, it's made in China. Yeah, you should see what they can make in China.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So, but would you open up, I'm asking you as a manufacturer, would you open up a factory in Thailand based on what you've seen?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Would you go back?
Yes, for a holiday in like a hotel, but not
Right.
what I was doing backpacking. You see something like we was walking down the one street, and it's just like kids sleeping on the floor in shacks.
Yeah.
And it just does make you realise what you have in the UK, and it makes you appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
And people forget that. Like people moan about the stupidest things, and it's like, yeah, hang on a minute now, go over there, and then moan about what you're moaning about.
Yeah, and we get that just from being born here.
Yeah, and it just makes you appreciate it so much more. And it did open up my eyes a lot.
Well, do you know what? That is the best segue into our first topic, which again is something you want to talk about, which I think is becoming really prominent, which is work-life balance, or a lack of it. Yeah. And if my wife, hey babe, if you are watching this, which I don't think you do, well, first thing she'll tell me is when I didn't tell her we're going to be talking about work-life balance, because she'd just laugh at me. Yeah. I've been promising her I would find it, and over the last 11 years I have successfully failed every year to find any form of balance. And every year it's going to be, this is the year, babe, where I take a step back, and
never happens.
It doesn't happen. And you start reflecting on it and you think, well, it's got to be me then. And I think it is. I know it is. But yeah, go on. let's hear about your experience of work-life balance and how you got to it where it is and why you've now started trying to reflect on it.
I think, because I got to a point where I was just working so much. Like I was back and forth London at one point, and my life was work. And probably last year it did dip a little bit, where I was trying to balance it a bit more. But like the years before, it's just, since I've been an apprentice, my life has been just completely work, which is probably a good thing. It's like everyone wants to be successful, everyone wants to have money, everyone wants, then when you actually think about it, and I think Thailand did flick something in my brain, is like, hang on, just why are you doing all this? What actually makes you happy? It's like, yeah, I enjoy my job, I love my job, but it's like, what else do I enjoy? And it's like football, and I'm like, what else? And that makes you think, and it's like, you need to start enjoying other stuff than just work.
Yeah, and I think when work dominates so much of your life, or not necessarily work, but if some one thing dominates so much of your life, it's hard to find new experiences that you might actually. Because wait, in what time?
Yeah,
I mean, again, you're a dad, right? You got your own business, and trades. I think trades are subject to ridiculous hours far more than an office job. I really do. You've been on jobs, you've got to get it done.
Yeah,
you've got to get it done. So whether that means you're working until 2 a.m, you got to get it done. And there's always that the next job might not be the next job might be the last job for 2-3 weeks. I can't say no to it because then I've got no money coming in for the rest of the month. And there's always been that type of mindset in the trade where we start early and we finish when we finish. Sometimes we finish at 3. Sometimes we don't finish and get home till 9. And then you've got all the travel in our industry as well, which is underrated.
We speak a lot about that, and where it's like, part of the job is you might have to stay on, you might have to work the extra. You can't just leave someone no power. Yeah. Or it doesn't work like that. It's just impossible. And stuff does go wrong. Yeah. So, you have got, again, prioritise work over.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, commercially is different pressures anyway, because if you're, these some companies or factories or industrial situations you're working in, like you say, leaving them without power, there's a lawsuit attached to that is ridiculous.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's what it comes down to in the day. But then, residentially, likewise, you've got a family of 4. You can't leave them without power. No. So, if there's a fault on the install, you've then got to go back and forth. It just, and nothing ever runs smoothly. The bigger the job, the more hiccups you're going to get as well.
100%.
And I do think there's a lot of pressure on us as a generation, really. Is this like, there's this glorified hustle.
Yeah.
Sleep for 4 hours and work some more.
Yeah. That's what it's been like for me. It's like, I need to do it. It's like, do I? Do I? Like, with the money I'm on now, I'm a bit more relaxed. But I'm happy.
Yeah.
So why do I need to get more if I'm already happy? If that makes sense. Why not start enjoying and spending the weekends with the little one, going somewhere maybe like Friday afternoon and not worry about work? Yeah. And just switch off. Like, is that extra money going to make a massive difference to your life and make you more happy?
A lot of it's circumstance as well, isn't it? I mean,
100%.
So, like, your circumstance is very different to mine. Like, I've got a family of 5, single income home, 16-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 10-month-old. Now, apart from a lack of sleep, there's there's a lot of drain on those funds.
It does go down to obviously personal.
But then you've also got other factors like, okay, well, I want to raise my family in a particular area. I want to, you don't want to send them to school in a particular set of clothes. There's a lot of pressures, I think, that come on parents now that never used to happen. Like, I mean, if I'd have asked my old man for a pair of Nikes at 13, he'd have been like, what's wrong with your trainers?
Yeah.
But my daughter's never worn anything, because she won't. Because it's a different generation. Like, brands are massive now, so she wouldn't wear that. She turns her nose up at Adidas. If I'd have had a pair of Adidas trainers growing up, I'd have thought I was mustard. And I think it is different. There's lots of.
But that's what I think it goes back to me going to Thailand and coming back. It's like it did generally make me appreciate. Like, you don't need to have branded. Like, over there, you're either rich or you've got nothing.
Yeah. There's no middle class.
There's no in between, and it's like. Doesn't matter, like, it just doesn't matter. Stop trying to please people.
Yeah. But I think, again, a lot of it is the pressures are outside of it, right? So, like, you've got, like, just go back to kids. Kids don't want a brand because the company pitched it to them. They want their brand because their friends wear it.
Oh yeah, it's to be cool.
But then it's the ridicule they get if they don't.
Yeah.
So it is a cultural thing for sure. That's why companies spend so much money on marketing.
But and this is why it's so difficult, because it's trying to find that balance in everything.
Because we're consumer led by.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, it's just about trying to find that balance with like your family and yourself. Actually, like work, but in trying to enjoy yourself as well.
So what are you going to do differently then from... so when did you get back?
26th of Jan, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So
what are you going to like put in place that you think that's going to help you find that balance, find that space and time to find other things that you enjoy outside of work and football?
I'm trying to just not work any weekends.
Okay.
That's easier said than done again, but that's my aim is, right, first thing, not to work a weekend unless you definitely have to.
Mm-hmm.
And just do stuff on a weekend. Don't think about work, just go somewhere. If you like, I play football on a Saturday, do that. Or I've just converted the van now as well, so I can use it as a camper.
Nice.
So just take the little one away.
That's a nice touch.
And just try and get out a bit more. And
because that's one thing, you've touched on something there that I think is awesome, because whether I'm at work between 7 and 5 or I'm at home, my brain doesn't switch off.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing.
The amount of time Katie will come in and she'll say something and I just don't hear it. And then she'll switch on me, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, where's your head?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I know what you think about that." So it becomes all consuming, and it does. And one thing I've started to do this year, I say started, I've done it a few times, I need to try and do more, is at 6 o'clock, my phone is somewhere else. Like, it's in a different room to me, because again, and I'm quite proud of the fact that you guys message us on Instagram on our Verso account or mine, and I will get back to you. I'm very accessible, but being accessible to everyone makes me inaccessible to my family.
Yeah.
And then again, I never switch off.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I've done.
It's so hard, isn't it?
It is. I mean, everyone's plugged in all the time, and so for me, like, one thing for me now is the phone's in a different room. The phone's in a different... And that is ridiculously difficult. It shouldn't be. I'm a 36-year-old man. Why is it difficult for me to put my mobile phone in a different room?
Responsibilities.
Yeah, but it's weird. But then again, how important is that? If someone has an inquiry about a consumer unit at 7:15 in the evening, so whether I get back to them at 7 in the evening or 7 in the morning, the price on the consumer unit's not going to be any different, and they're probably not going to make a different decision on the consumer unit they buy. Now, if they go and buy someone else's online or find something cheaper, or circumstances change between 7 and 7, for the amount of time that's going to happen, I think maybe that time is probably better spent with my family.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people know as well, like after 5 usually is when people stop work. So they'll expect something back in the morning.
But you say that, a lot of people, and again, I think because of the internet, because of social media and how accessible everything is, and everything's instant, everything's now, like, they expect the information now. They want to know now.
Yeah.
And you will, I mean, I'm sure I will lose sales from it, but, I'd rather lose sales than my sanity or my family.
Yeah.
So that's a small change I've made. But then my days are different to your... So, we are still a commerce business, right? We move boxes, essentially. We make products, we put them in boxes, we send them to wholesalers, who then hopefully sell them to electricians. You're on site every day. So I can try and not be up and down the country as much. I can try and put restrictions on my travel and my time and things like that. And I can try and be more office-based. You, as an electrician, and you guys listening and watching, you don't always have that luxury.
No, I'm quite lucky. I think a lot of the work we do is in a 1 hour area, really. So I'm quite lucky, but I know people that have to travel there.
Yeah.
They got like several different jobs a day, and they're dotted about, and then they're not getting home till late.
Well, I was on site last week, and the 3 boys there were all from Rhyl, working on it down in South Wales, staying in the travel lodge for 4 days. You think, okay. And then the following week, they were up somewhere else, and that's what they do. They leave on a Monday morning, sometimes Sunday evening, and they get back on a Friday afternoon. I mean, again, you went through a stage of that, didn't you? Going back and forth from London. So, and it's just accepted in our industry. You wouldn't get that, in the trades in general probably, but you wouldn't get that outside of it and it be so accepted as it was. And if it did, and in those industries where it is, the financial reward is far different.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So
it all goes down to the person at the end of the day, because some people might love doing that. And some people just love work and they don't want to do anything else but work.
Yeah.
So it does all go down to the person who's, running their life, obviously. But for me, I'm just trying to make a bit of a change and experience life a bit more, I think. Is
we look forward to more Thailand stories then. Anywhere else on the bucket list this year?
No, save money now because I'm skinned.
Because you're £100 steak.
Yeah.
So 10B instead of Thailand. Next time,
That's it. Or camping spots in the back of the van.
Do you know what? So last year we went on a cruise and we took my parents and stuff. Year before we went to Dubai. And me and the missus this year, like, where should we go? And both dreading the idea of going around a big holiday again. It's hard work with a big family.
Yeah.
So we have decided we're going with my sister-in-law, brother-in-law and their kids, and we've got a lovely little Airbnb thing in the Forest of Dean, which is, an hour from here. And we got that for a long weekend, and that is our holiday next year. The rest of the time is just going to be spent going to the beach, going to Tenby, long weekends.
I do believe you'll enjoy that just as much as a sunny holiday, though.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's better because it's not going to get sunny over here. I know we booked it for June, but you guarantee it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Well, work-life balance. So, guys, what would be awesome? Get in touch. We're not going to be the only ones that struggle with work-life balance, I don't think. But, let's hear some of your stories. Let's hear what you guys are doing to maybe find that balance. Again, the sad stuff is I've got a lot of stories about people who've never found it and what they've lost for it, and when they've looked back at it, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe have you got some things this year that you're doing to try and get a better balance in your work and your private life? So, moving swiftly on, which is a complete massive segue, we're going to go, obviously, is it Apprentice Week next week?
Not a clue. I feel like maybe I should know.
I think I've seen that somewhere. Although by this time this goes out, I think Apprentice Week would have been and gone, even if it is next week anyway. If it's not next week, then we've got some time. But and a lot of things that I see a lot of people asking is, how much should I spend on tools? I'm not in the best place to answer this.
No, it's a good question, and I've done similar videos on this. Is if you're an apprentice, don't go out buying top end tools for your first tools. Just
is there no merit to buy cheap, buy twice?
Yeah, there is that. But I remember my first screwdriver set was like a B&Q set for like a £5.
You spent a £5, bloody.
So that screwdrivers last a long time. You don't need to go and buy a 50 quid set just yet when you're just starting out. But I do believe when you've been in the industry and you are like qualified electrician, you've been there a while. I'm under the impression if you use a tool day in, day out, buy a good tool. Right. Because you're using it every day and you want something good. You don't want a B&Q or... So,
but again, what separates a B&Q screwdriver set for an apprentice to a WeHa set for a qualified electrician?
Just the quality, I think, yeah.
So you got the quality of the... So as an electrician, just starting out, I'm an apprentice. I want to... Again, we just talked about how we are... unbelievably brand driven as an entire, our industry is, but as our culture in the UK anyway. Like, where would you, is there any, any kind of brands you would avoid? You say like, look, that's just overkill, or is there any kind of products you would say this is a must have? Where would you pitch someone out to go, look, make sure you get one of these. This is what I would advise you to do. This is a brand because I know you mentioned We Are before. It's probably one of the only brands that you can get every tool you need in an electrician. Yeah. But that comes with a bit of a price tag as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. So but you got your big names like your Kleins, your WeHa, Nipbex, they're all good brands and solid brands. And they're the ones you would aim to get. But if you're just getting into the industry, I wouldn't just go for them just... If you've got the money, if you've got loads of money...
If you've got loads of money, you're not an apprentice.
Yeah, that's also a good point. But, I mean, if you can get them. But if you're a bit tight on money, just go with the cheaper brands and then just slowly build up your tool bag or your power drills. I would say with power drills, though, go for good brands straight away.
Yeah, because they just burn out.
Yeah,
wear on anything with a motor, you need to think about, just, again, being a manufacturing nerd at this point, there are different class of components that you use in anything that moves, and anything that has any form of resistance, and especially anything with a battery.
Yeah, well, I got a funny story with that. It's like my mate. He's like electrician, but he doesn't do that role anymore. But he done a full house refurb on his own house. Right. So he bought power tools. He didn't have any. Right. But him being him, he went to Aldi and bought Aldi brand, thinking, oh yeah, it'll do right.
Do you know? I think I've got an Aldi impact driver. And I kid you not, is it like Parkville or something it's called?
Oh, I don't even know.
What makes it worse, right? So I buy the bloody thing, right? It's like 15 quid. I get it home. Because I think again it was one of those. I just got to put a few things up around the house, and I couldn't be bothered to go all the way in the Cardiff to get the tools from work. So I'm like, okay, got it. Get home. The farted thing doesn't come with a battery, so I then have to go back and I spend 20 quid on the battery. You know the Audi, like the middle aisle nonsense, absolute nonsense. I was fuming that I ended up spending best part of £35 on an Audi impact. I was absolutely raging.
Well, this is what he done. He like bought the full set, so he had circular saw, impact, whatever. And I think the impactor broke straight away. So first use, and he was like, "No, if I'm going to do this, I need to buy a good brand." So I think he went like DeWalt or something then, and it lasted. So yeah, if you're going to buy power tools, buy a good power tool brand.
B&Q have launched their own range of stuff, and is it called McAllister or something?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I've got a few. But again, I buy them when I do DIY stuff. So I've got what have I got from them? I've got some saws and bits from them. And again, when I put the decking together, I mean, carpentry completed, mate. Put the decking together, it was absolutely fine. Then I went to build a planter in the back garden, pulled the saw out. It doesn't work at all. So the decking, I mean, there's a big bit of decking, but it killed it. It's done. It's over. So yeah, I do think anything with a motor. But I think we only paid like 40 quid for that or something.
Yeah, well, you pay for what you get. I think with a power tool. Well, most tools you pay for what you get, but it's like certain circumstances where you don't need an expensive tool. Like I got a extendable magnet. I got from like the watch shop for like £2.
But I seen your TikTok the other day. Didn't you buy like a bag, a weighted bag for £1 off of Temu or something?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was off TikTok shop. Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, but something like that. You don't need to go and buy a 50 quid bag to all rubbish. So it depends what you're doing. Like you don't need to go and buy a 50 quid magnet just to pick up swore from a board. So, but like I said, tools you'd use in day in day out, like a pair of snips. I have a good pair of snips.
So okay, what's your top five things you would say spend some money on and put it in your kit bag as an apprentice, and then the rest of it just build up as you go along? Top 5 bits of kit.
Have a decent tool bag. I'm not saying go and spend £300 on a tool bag. Like spend about 100 odd quid on a tool bag. Good pair of snips. I would say good tester. Don't want a cheap tester.
Yeah, good show.
That's important.
Yeah. Whose tester do you use?
I got a TIS.
Nice.
Tester. So I like that. That's pretty good. Snips. Good level. You don't want rubbish level, because if you're saying it's level, you quite clearly see it's like that.
Yeah, fair play.
What else is really important? I can't think of anything else. What else do electricians use, really?
You should be using a torque screwdriver to determine that you're verso-consuming.
Yeah, well, I think they're a bit out with their apprentices.
To be fair.
Budget. But yeah, but everything else can be quite cheap. I think what I've just said, those 3 things are like the most important, but everything else can just, maybe a good pair of grips.
Because you use grips quite a bit.
Yeah. But other than that, just build up slowly on your paycheck.
What was your first premium power tool?
Ooh. I think I had like Milwaukee 12 volt stuff.
Oh, okay, because you use Metabo, don't you?
Yeah. The 12 volt, I'd done me for a while.
Yeah.
It done alright, but yeah, that was like 100 odd quid. But then like it wouldn't even hold a 10mm drill bit. It only hold like 9.
But yeah, I mean, it's the thing is, and I do think we all get a bit like this with whatever field we're in. Once you're passionate about something, you do get a bit nerdy, and as blokes anyway, we do like our tools. And we just start building it out, and all of a sudden you look at this range of stuff. Again, bleeding back onto literally a topic we just finished on. You look at it and think, how much do I actually need?
Yeah,
how much do I actually use?
Yeah,
but at the same point, I still want that.
I think we've spoken on one of the last shows about the pack out stuff.
Yeah. How are you getting on with it?
I bought more. I bought more.
Work-life balance, but I need more pack out stuff.
I'm like. We was fitting a double socket the other day. I dragged everything in. I'm literally just doing a socket. I do not need all of this.
That is awesome though. But at the same point, you get to drag it all in.
Yeah, and I'm like, this looks good, but it's like, I've spent so much money on this and I just don't need it.
I think they've absolutely smashed that. Fair play to them. I absolutely love their branding. So, I mean, one thing about tools is, and I think we can all agree, they are bloody expensive.
Yes.
And when you're talking, most apprentices can't afford a torque up. Sorry, guys, that wasn't a plug there. A torque screwdriver, and realistically, you should be using those. So, did you know that socket terminals have a torque setting? Everything has a torque setting. So now I've been making wiring accessories for best part of a decade, and only found that out 2.5 years ago. That each one of those terminals has a torque setting.
I had an issue with this the other day. I done an isolator and it had on it 0.8 Newton meters. So I set my screwdriver to that and I tightened it. Cable comes straight back out.
Yeah. That seems wrong.
I was like, yeah, I'm not.
Because I mean, ours on our RCBOs are 2. And
Yeah.
you're talking a thin, small cable there.
And I was like, I'm not leaving that at 0.8. So I got out the other screwdriver and tightened it up.
I would probably have checked what brand was it?
What, the isolator?
Yeah.
Scammy, I think it's called.
Scam's a solid company.
Yeah.
I'd have given them a call because that could have been a misprint or whatever. Because that can happen on back. Was it on the product itself?
On the actual isolator inside.
Sounds like it could hopefully is like a misprint or something like that. But that might be a batch issue. So I would have probably contacted Scam and said, listen, your product here says one thing, and I'm telling you it physically can't.
Yeah, I'm not joking. It would just slip out.
Well, yeah, easy. I mean, 0.8 is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, not even half a turn.
Yeah, so I was a bit... and it's like the same with sockets. I don't actually know what it's supposed to be on a socket, but you always check it with another screwdriver. I do at the moment. Even in a board, I know I shouldn't, but I always go over it with a...
Yeah, it's like...
is it enough? Is it not?
What people don't realise with that is the over-tightening is just as dangerous as under-tightening.
Right.
So because the way it generates heat in that terminal then is higher. So it's just...
How can that ever be proved though? Like, as in, so say if something happened and I know I've torqued it to these settings. Say if I left the isolator at 0.8 and loose connection causes a fire and they're like, oh, you didn't tighten it enough. Well, I did. But
that's really interesting. Well, you... In that situation, you have a duty of care, right? You know that's not tight, right?
Yeah.
In a situation where if you're talking about a consumer unit and you're on site, you can follow, again, BS 7671 says to manufacturer standards. Now, if that is tightened, either over tightened or under tightened, what insurance companies are now doing, because they don't ever want to pay, right, is if there's an electrical fire that they can prove has been caused at the board, they want to inspect the board, and they'll inspect if they think it's a loose connection, or if they think anything to do with the connections, they can test that, because obviously all they got to do realistically is put a screwdriver back on and test it, and if it's over or under, they won't pay out, and then they're coming for you. It's the electrician's responsibility to install that to manufacturers.
That's
guidelines.
a bit mad when you think about it.
But
I don't know many electricians.
Most electricians don't know that.
Yeah,
You sign that work off. You're responsible for it. And if at the end of the day, if that causes a fire, whether you've only warranted the work for a year, 2 years, whatever, it doesn't matter if you've left that technically unsafe. Now, are you going to get charged for it? Probably not. Are they going to come for you financially? Probably. Because you tell me an insurance company has ever wanted to pay you anything they owe you.
Yeah, they'll look for anything just to get out.
So, yeah. But anyway, back to that. Tools, if you can't afford a basic torque screwdriver as an electrician, and most tools are bloody expensive, onto our next topic, which is getting worse and worse, I think, is tool theft.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Have you ever had your tools nicked?
No, I've been so lucky.
Especially in Cabral. Oh dear, they're coming for you now.
I've known people that's had it done, and what can you do?
What I was saying before we started filming, what did it for me was I was on Facebook or one of the social medias when I should have been in the evening when I was spent time with kids. And there was a picture. It looked like a Sunday market, and it was on one of the electricians' forums. And there was a geezer there with a table probably bigger than this, full of DeWalt kit, right? Quite clearly nicked, because no one has that many impact drivers. Like, it's just full of DeWalt everywhere. And somebody said a bloody cement on it. Like, they'd clearly, been used or whatever. Now, do you know, and there's no one clamping down on that. So, Mark Ashworth, who I know listens to this, thank you for calling me during this. There he is. I will call you back afterwards. Cheers. And I'm going to leave that in. I'm not editing that out. But yeah, there's nothing being done about it. And, I know there's been a new insurance company pop up in there. Is it Armed? So they've done this thing. I've seen the guys on Electricians Podcast talk about it, where you register the serial numbers of all your tools with them. Okay. Right? So it's like a registration thing, and then they do the insurance as well. And the idea is that, obviously, if anything pops up with that serial number, they can track and trace it. But likewise, if you spent £500 on that, whatever, you'll get £500 back for it.
Right. Okay.
Which is cool. It's just more of a, I suppose, more specific trade insurance. And again, you can get insurances, but like prevention's better than cure, right?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way to stop the tools getting stolen in the first place, that's what you need to concentrate on.
The only thing I can think genuinely would be tougher sentences. Because what people don't really understand, and again, I mean, and most people that listen to our stuff are electricians, so they can empathise immediately, is that's someone's life. Like, if I nick all your tools, what are you doing at work tomorrow?
Yeah, no.
How are you feeding your son?
Yeah.
And how much is that going to cost you to put back?
Thousands.
And again, without the ability to earn, how are you actually going to raise the funds to put those tools in the back of your van so you can go back to work?
Yeah,
Absolutely insane.
I do feel for people who's had it done. Like, it's like, what can you do to help prevent that? Is another thing. Like, I've never sign written my van or anything, just so people don't know it's an electrician's van. Well, they just know it's a van, so they're really gonna risk breaking into that and not having a clue what could be in there.
Yeah, but then, like we were saying before, a lot of this isn't happening on people's driveways. A lot of this is happening on site.
Yeah.
You know, and
true.
And why shouldn't you be able to sign right your van?
Yeah, no,
Do you know what I mean? Because of the risk. I mean, it's what a lot of people do. I know a lot of wholesalers that don't sign and write their van anymore because they've been, especially around London, they've been jumped in the van because they might have cable in the back.
Mad.
Absolutely mental.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you're never gonna stop someone stealing something because that's be an issue forever. But
it just seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it is.
It is getting worse. I mean, I know Mike, when he had the loadout shop, he used to have this thing that if you got it nicked, he did almost like a charitable thing and kind of replace it and stuff like that. And we're looking at starting something at Verso about supporting people like that, but you know, and something we can do to help them and things like that. But you know, we could never do enough to help the amount of people that it's starting to affect and the amount of families that's starting to impact. And it's just mental, and no one cares. Like, no one outside of the trades care. Like
oh no, they don't understand though.
No, but there's nothing governmental being done about it. I mean, again, if you give someone the same sort of it needs to be some form of criminal punishment to it that's far more severe than it is, because a slap on the wrist and some community service for putting someone's out of business isn't it's not fair. But guys, have you guys had your tools nicked? I know I've had a lot of you guys reach out about this topic already. You know, and what happened afterwards? You know, were there things and could you share some stories with us so we can share them with other people about, look, if this happens, these are the things you need to do to make sure you get that money back as quick as you can, or things that you're doing to prevent your stuff getting nicked. I mean, obviously there's the obvious one of like take your tools in every night and take everything out of the van and this, that, and the other. But again, when this is happening on site, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I told you the night I seen Corey on Instagram. He'd done quite a good one. Hiding air tags in his tools. Like, don't get me wrong, like 30 quid a pop in air tags. But if you've just bought, say, a hydraulic crimper or something, it's like a couple of grand. If you can hide that somewhere, if it does get taken, at least you got some sort of tracking of it. Yeah. And you can give it to the police. But you're not gonna be able to do that to all your tools because it's gonna cost you a fortune.
But there you go. Maybe manufacturers. Mate, that's a great idea. So you think about it, right? Every iPhone, I can find my iPhone anywhere from any Apple device. It'll tell me exactly where it is. Surely, if someone like DeWalt could build something like that into their devices, that you have a DeWalt app, so when you first you scan it or whatever, boom. So if it does get pinched,
that's something that was set like a drill company apart. A power tool company.
There you go. DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, whoever does it first. Remember, we came up with it here with like royalties on that idea. So if you want to go with that, but how much? I mean, if there you go, you would buy that brand over someone else's.
100%. If Metabo done that now, I'd be all over that.
Yeah,
it's because you can track your tools.
there must be a way of doing it again. Because there you go. Because that arms company, they use the serial number. So surely that serial number can link. So that signal it sends is unique, and you'd have to. Surely that would work, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to contact a tool manufacturer and ask them why that can't be done.
It's probably cost. It's got to be one part of it. But then again, I would rather pay an extra.
You pay an extra 15-20 quid for a drill
on a drill when you're spending over 100 quid anyway, and knowing if it does get stolen, at least you got some sort of tracking.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can give that information straight to the police.
Yeah.
Boom, go get my drill.
Yeah.
And my taxes.
No, I think that is a good idea, but they must have thought about it. There's obviously something that's stopping it.
Yeah, but doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Well, if Hager can make Bluetooth AFTDs that don't work, I'm sure.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm only joking. Love you guys, Hager. Right. Next topic we wanted to talk about was... So we've gone on work-life balance. We've then talked about how much you should spend on tools. We've then talked about how much it kills us when someone nicks our tools. Now let's talk about how much do you charge friends and family?
Oh, I hate this
What a
topic.
What a topic.
Yeah. Where do you even begin with this topic?
I've got so many mixed emotions about this topic as well. I mean, I think, and again, I think it's different for someone like me who sells product than it is for someone like you whose time is non-refundable.
Yeah. Put it this way: I got like 3 best mates. The one had his house done, which I couldn't get involved in because it was all insurance. But the other 2, they done a complete like refurb, and I helped them. I didn't charge them a penny on labour. I said the only time I did charge him was when he needed me to come in on a day that I was supposed to be working, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he paid my wage that day.
Sure.
But I done it for him for free. But it's where do you stop with that? And then so I got like friends, obviously, but not like my best friends. That would they expect the same? And then it puts me in a position. Then it's like I'm basically telling you, no, you're not my best friend. As stupid as I know, it sounds a bit. You know what I mean. Oh, you done it for him for free.
And friends are one thing, family are worse.
Yeah, a family. Yeah, because you've got to do it for your family, because otherwise, they could be charged stupid money by someone else. And yeah,
and it's family is more expected.
So
let's be honest.
This is what I've done.
Go on.
Because I use Traderfied, the quote, you can do a discount on there.
Right.
You can set a discount tab. So I've got a tab called family discount.
Right.
So for like my cousins or whatever, I've got like 20 or 30% off my usual price. So when they get a quote, they can see I've discounted my normal price. Obviously, if it's my sister or my nanogram or my dad, whatever, I won't charge them a penny. That's like really close family. But for them, yeah, I just show a discount. So I'm showing some sort of loyalty, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult. I hate it when I get asked to do it.
Here's my issue with family and friends. All right, I love you all. All right, so don't start tripping on me on my feed now. So we are very active on social media as a company. Not one of you reposts something. All right, like stuff, this and that. But you need 5 new sockets for your extension. Oh, my phone rings quick. And it's just like, well, okay. And I think there's a lot of that. Like, I don't think friends and family realize how much they could do to help, especially, electricians. You just recommend me on your... Every estate has a Facebook group. Someone, needs changing a socket or whatever.
Yeah.
Throw my name in there. Or if I put something on Instagram or Facebook, share it. You have no idea how much that helps.
Yeah.
But when when you need something, and then you like, and there's other things, especially when you work for yourself, where I personally think family and friends rate should be full price. Because if I'm your friend, I want to see you do what that's what you charge for your service, and that's what I'm going to pay you, because I'm your friend, and I'm not going to try and shortchange you. Everyone else out there is trying to do that already. I'll happily pay you full price. Now, if I'm in a pickle and I can't afford it, and you can do me a solid, then let's do like a barter thing. Like, okay, you do me this, and I can help you with that. Cool, fantastic. If you can get around that, but again, then you have close family.
Yeah,
and then
it's so difficult.
And then I have a mix of, and I'm quite lucky, right? So my mum and dad, my dad especially, will always like, no, what does it cost? I'll pay it. I think that's where I get it from, right? But likewise, if he needs something now and again, it's like just have that. Oh, but how much? Just go and do it. Like, you give me life.
Yeah.
So there is a balance to it, isn't there? But it is tough, and especially you don't mind the little odd and sod, but when it's something big,
yes.
And then it's just like, well, okay, you need 5 days of my time.
Yeah.
But that's food off my plate, then, isn't it?
No, and this is why I say sometimes, because I don't have enough time for myself anyway. So when, if I got a big job to do for a family or something, it is difficult to you don't want to say no at the same time, because you do want to help them, but at the same time, sometimes you can't without charging it. Yeah, I hate it, but everyone's going to have the same issue. Everyone's been asked by their family, oh, you don't mind doing this? And it's always that thing, yeah, I want to help my friends and family, but to what extent to the point you can't.
Yeah, when it's a convenient nip round, fix that
Yeah.
or do that, or I've had friends of mine go, "Oh, can you knock me on logo up for this?" And yeah, no worries, can do that. It's a 15, 20-minute job.
Yeah.
But when it's like, I should have put that on airplane mode. when it's like you say, it's big money, and then it's a sacrifice. Like you say, okay, well, I've got like 3 days out now.
Yeah.
Are you going to give me 100 quid?
Yeah.
She's like, well,
Yeah.
But I don't know, guys. What do you do for your friends and family?
I tell you, it'd be a good thing to ask. Has there been any fallouts, stories?
There's definitely, guys. That's
Yeah.
a much better question. I don't care what you do for your friends, but I want to hear about when you fell out with friends and family over a mates rate situation or a job or anything else like that. Now, again, if you want it to be anonymous and we just share the story, absolutely fine. In fact, there we go. Hang on. For either the travel mug from Unilight or it hasn't been used, I promise, it's brand new. It's just the box isn't branded, so I took it out. Or the mug from Unilight. Or depending, if your story is that good, I might give you both. Yeah. We want to hear your stories about when you fell out with a friend or family, why, and did you ever resolve it based on a family mates rates price?
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't had that. It's all been insane, so... Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't think I have. I had to chase a friend to pay me. That peed me off.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't cool. And yeah, that wasn't cool. And that.
See, it just causes that.
But it's money,
elephant
innit?
in the room, man. Do you know what I mean?
Money always does. Money always does. I mean, most families stop talking after when you start talking about inheritance. When stuff like that happens, as soon as you get money involved, boom, shit just goes mental.
Yeah. I had with my ex, her dad asked me to do loads of work, and I said, look, I can only do it this time. I'm so busy. And he was like, oh, we need it done now. And I said, I literally can't. You're gonna have to get someone else. You got someone else in to do it. Like, so I don't. That caused a little bit of a thing, but it was fine. It was like I was on it. I just don't have the time at the moment.
Yeah, and again, that's being responsible and knowing that, you know what, because it had caused friction the other way around, that you had to drop that to help.
Yeah.
But again, when you don't get paid, and it's the attitude of why you didn't get paid. If you didn't get paid because, I haven't got 8. Look, this is everything I've got. I'm going to give you the rest of it. Okay, cool. We're friends. I trust you. Oh, yeah, I'll pay you next week. Next week comes and goes. I ain't seen my money, and now you're not picking up the phone.
Yeah, that's
come on. And that happens a lot.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people in the trade that have done work for friends and family, and then they've gone, oh, yeah, you said you're going to give me 200 quid. Oh, yeah, I'll catch up with you. But it didn't cost you nothing. Yeah. Hang on, I just spent a day and a half.
Yeah.
And it happened to a friend who's a plumber.
I want to hear those stories now.
Yeah, so guys, look, there's your first 2. You can win 1 or 2 if your story's good enough. But yeah, and we'll get them out on the next episode. All right, okay. So which leaves us nice and neatly into our awkward part of the thing. I say it's awkward because we've had some really awkward questions in the past so far of our Q&A. Now, the first one is actually completely Verso related, although it did come through the Talk Up channel, is are Verso going to be doing a bi-directional RCBO? Now, bi-directional RCBOs make me want to smash my head in the wall because people, there's a lot of propaganda there. You need them on every PV and EV install. You don't. Please do your research. We're going to do a video on it very shortly on our Verso channel to explain when you need a bi-directional, what it actually means, how it actually works. And yes, we are going to be launching one in the spring, but most people don't need one. They are hella expensive in comparison to a standard RCBO. I think Hague have just launched one if you do need one. But you can get around it in most situations, like most people are doing with our little solar board, which is an RCD and an MCB. Our MCBs and most people's MCBs are already bi-directional. So the only reason you need it on people are asking for an RCBO is because the circuit on certain, depending on the install, needs RCD protection. All right, so you got the MCB switching current, so you've got that absolutely fine on a bi-directional situation with your RCD protection. So you link it like that. So you can link an MCB with an RCD. If you want more information on that, just get hold of me on Instagram, william.winter1. I'll send you the information. I'll send you a copy of the board we do. And yes, there's a way around it, and it costs you like 10 quid. But yes,
Just a quick one on that. Does it go the MCB first and then the RCBO?
Yeah. Right, so the actual tripping capacity goes through the MCB. Yeah. So the RCD is literally just sat there for no other reason than obviously your earth leakage. So
would they have to be different ratings?
Yes. So you want the MCB lower than the RCD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, obviously, the
RCD
kick out first. Yeah. So which you don't particularly want. But yeah, there is a way around it. So you don't need one. You can get around it. Most people, obviously, when they're fitting PV, are putting in a little extension board anyway. They're not putting it into the main board. But even if you are, there's still a way around it. And actually in certain situations it's probably a neater solution. But yes, we are doing one anyway. There's a long answer to that. But if you need any more information on that, don't get conned into thinking you need one on every PV install. People just want your money. Get in touch with us and we'll help you out with that one. And now you're going to do the next one.
Oh yeah, we had to look at this, didn't we?
We did, yeah. So we're going to summarise this from our frequent flyer, Isolate for Life. Thank you very much. It was him that told us it was Apprentice Week next week. And I think this is, considering we are a podcast and we are giving away stuff and we are hopefully about to sign our first sponsor, I think this is quite a good topic. So if you can summarise.
So I won't read it because it's quite long length.
Yeah,
but
you're obviously very passionate about this, so thank you very much.
So basically what he's saying is there's a lot of like people doing videos now getting sent free stuff, sponsored videos, and are people being honest in what they get sent, in what they promote out when they're getting paid? That's the general of it.
It's about not misleading people, especially young apprentices and young people who are impressionable by marketing and influencers.
Yeah, and buying rubbish, etc., etc. Now, I can speak on myself. If I get sent something, I'll say I got sent something.
You do, to be fair.
I'm not like, there's nothing to hide. If I got sent something, I will say it. But I've got approached by so many companies that are just terrible. And I just, no, I don't want to. I only want to promote what I like or I enjoy using or I like the thought of, stuff like that. And I will always say if I got sent, and if it's paid, now you have to put like at the bottom you'll have like, I forget what it's
Yeah, it's like a paid sponsorship,
so I'm quite open about it. But it all goes down to who you follow and who you trust, I think.
Yeah, and I think you've hit a nail on the head there with this topic is that, I mean, everyone on Instagram's an influencer these days, right? Everyone. Not got a problem with it. I mean, I think there's a lot of great that's come out of Instagram and our industry over the last 2-3 years. There's been a bit more of a community built, a lot of help, support. I've definitely gained a lot of friends and things off it, and kind of met my matches with circuit protection nerds out there that love it as much as I do. We were bespoke type of people. But off of that as well is people have jumped on it, and I'm not going to sit here innocently and say we haven't used influencers to promote our product. Well, of course we have.
It's the best way, in my opinion.
It is when you work with the right people.
Yeah.
So, we spoke. I mean, I went and I met every single one of them before we sent them anything in this, that, and the other. The only person I didn't actually was Corey, who flat out told me, look, send me something, I'll fit it. If I think it's pony, I'll send it straight back. I'm not going to do anything with it. If I think it's any good, then we can have a chat. Ryan said the same thing. Nick said the same thing. You said the same thing. So, again, when you're having those conversations, it's fine. But, there's also a lot of other people out there that will just fit whatever they get sent because they just want to get more free stuff because it's it's a funding circle for them.
Probably when I early in the start when I was doing it, or you get excited when you get sent something for free, and you probably to the extent you don't care what you're promoting. But as you get in, you've got a bit more responsibility. Like that question, you don't want to be selling people rubbish. Not only because you're doing them out of something, it's your longevity and like what people trust in your next video as well. Because if that same person will never buy something off like what you've promoted again, because what you sold them last time was crap.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't work.
I've got an issue with it from my side of the industry because there's a couple of brands out there that have got a very popular name, right? And they've done very well in different parts of the industry. Some in lighting, some in our neck of the woods, some in everything else. And for whatever reason, there's a perception around their quality. And I can literally show you the test reports that you'd think, I won't fit that. But because it's not gone wrong on them, right? And, or whatever, or because everyone uses it, or this and it's been so well adopted, and you just think, Christ. So there is, sometimes you can accidentally be caught flogging crap. Because everyone else is doing it, you haven't found an issue until they have an issue or a recall or whatever it might be, and you think, and you can get caught on it that way as well.
Yeah.
So, but guys, I think the only answer is to teach your apprentices to ask questions. Like the amount of people, it's when I go into wholesalers or I go into colleges or whatever and I do my talks, ask questions, ask for a data sheet, ask for a test report, do your own testing on it.
Yeah.
Speak to other electricians. Just do a bit of especially if you're going to spend some money on it. We talked about tools earlier, but So, I mean, I've just bought a new car. I agonised over what car to buy for months and months and months and months and months. And then I made an absolute boneheaded decision and bought them with my heart on my head. Yeah. But there we go. But, you know, if you just have to ask those questions, I think, a little, and teach people to ask the right questions about what it is. And obviously, everyone knows at the end of the day, marketing is marketing. But when you buy it, it's your own decision. You can't, these people are, you know, grown-ups. They've got to make their own decisions as well. So.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And it's just trust who you follow. Like, if you're following people, just like, if you can clearly see they're promoting crap, and then maybe don't do your bit of research on the next thing they're promoting or something.
Yeah.
And just that way. But I do feel like, as well, it's a bit off subject now, it is looked down upon now, like people getting sent stuff and stuff for free, and they're like, what, like, why are you getting that for free, kind of thing. And it's just like, why is people so negative about it all? People getting, so all it is all of us using different stuff, and we're showing people, and it goes back to things, as long as you're not promoting crap, why is people got such a big thing about it?
I think a lot of it as well, though, if you look at certain influencers and people like that, is you can see who's flogging stuff and who believes in the partnership that they're working with, and you can do that through longevity.
Yeah.
Right. Now, not to continue to plug Alex and Unilight, but Alex, I've been up to Alex. I've seen Unilight stuff. I like their kit. We've used some of it here. I've given away a lot of it. What I like about Alex as well is, again, like me, he's completely accessible. So you got an issue with any of his product, get hold of him, he'll sort it out, bang, it gets done.
Yeah.
Right? That goes a long way. But if you look at the relationships he's had with his influencers, like across all the trade industries, they're mostly the top influencers in those industries, and they've stayed with him for a long time. Wouldn't be able to do that if the product was pony, because it wouldn't be benefiting them, they wouldn't be making any money. Two, it would be damaging their reputation that they've got, which would then impact on other sponsorship deals they've got. So I think that's maybe one way of looking at it. You know, how long if they've been pumping that product for a year, it's probably all right. Yeah. You know, if they chop brands, this week they're doing Verso, next week they're doing BG, next week they're doing Fusebox, next week they're doing... Yeah. Well, hang on, someone just pays you every time to do a video, then maybe that's what you're doing. But at the end of the day, I think just teach apprentices to know that, you know, at the end of the day... Just
use your head a little bit. See between the lines and use your head a bit.
Yeah, which if you've ever been around an apprentice, your common sense is far from common. It's not just apprentices, we have it in the office here, we have it in the warehouse. Some of the stories, again, we've shared a few, absolutely mental. Any other Q&As that you want to bring up that you've had?
Put me on the spot now, I can't think.
No?
No, I don't know.
Well, I've got some news for the podcast. So, got some exciting news. So we've confirmed Alert Electrical as a guest, who are a wholesaler. Whisker, a guy called Elliot from Whisker, is going to be on the pod. The guys from Weeha are going to be on the pod. There's a couple of them still trying to twist their arm. Carl from CF Electrical wants to come on the pod. So we're going to have that's at least 5. We might have Jay back on the pod. That's at least 5 episodes covered. We've got a few other people, like Alex from South Coast EV wants to come on. Nick and Adam are probably going to come on. So that's pretty much most of the year. So we've got some awesome guests lined up. Hopefully have some better giveaways. Not better, like Alex's is bad. Like, but have even more giveaways is what I mean. And we've got a little something lined up as well. So yeah, it's all looking really, really, really awesome for the rest of the year. So for the first one we've filmed this year, I think that's a wrap. But before we go, you know how you're going to get hold of these two. We want to hear your family and friends sagas. We want to hear your gossip, right? But then this absolute monster, okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about this. 1, I can't afford it, it's too expensive. 2, it's got 3,500 lumens on a 30-watt fitting, which is, looking at the back of here, it's 6,500 K, so I don't care what site you're on, it can be pitch black and you'll be seen from space. And this one is going to go to...
Me.
We've got currently, I think last time I checked, about 58 subscribers on the Talk Up channel. Right, that's appalling, guys. Come on, give us a little bit of support here. So once we get to 200, which isn't a huge figure, 200 subscribers, we're going to be giving away this awesome Unilight bit of kit here, the SLR 350, no, 3500 even, sorry. So yeah, nice and simple. Make sure you're like this video. That would be really helpful if you're watching, and subscribe to the channel. And then when we get to 200, boom, this will go out to a random YouTube watcher. But how do we engage the audio guys then? I've had a thought.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Right. So if you listen to us on audio, we always put a question on the audio as well. So all I want you to do is tell me how many lumens are in this uni light fitting, and the first 5 people to comment will get a Verso consumer unit complete with SPD. It'll be an 8-way board giving you 6 usable ways for absolutely free. Okay, so for your audio listeners, we haven't forgotten about you. We love you too.
So a little giveaway.
Yeah, so there's a lot of money's going out this month. So we could really do with another sponsor to pay for it all. All right, guys, thank you very much. And Jimbo, welcome back to the UK.
Thank you.
And until next time, take care.